Golf Central on YouTube. Brought to you by the Chrome Soft Golf Ball from Callaway.
Hi there, I'm Todd Lewis. The very first round of the FedEx Cup playoffs in the books, taking place in Memphis. It is the FedEx St. Jude Championship, and round number 1 looks like this. How about Siwoo Kim with a hole-out eagle on his final hole? He shoots a 62. J.J. Spahn also with a 62. PGA Tour rookie Sahith Theegala continuing to impress with a 63. And there you see, tied for 4th, Tony Finau continuing his strong play. But Theegala, it might just be the story heading into tomorrow, considering he had the best round of the afternoon. Here's what he had to say after that 63.
Thank you very much. Opening 63, that was the best round of the afternoon. Wave, you were just talking about your driving. Why was that so key on this golf course?
Yeah, just like based on my first look and what guys have told me, and even what Carl in his past experience, this is like, I think statistically maybe one of the top 3 like most important courses to hit the fairways in terms of like the discrepancy in scoring from the rough to fairways. So immediately kind of focused in my mind a little bit more. I'm like, okay, I got to hit fairways. I can't be, you know, because sometimes I can get away with hitting a little offline and rely on my scrambling. But I was like, I got to just keep my head down and try and focus on that. And I hit it awesome today off the tee.
We were just talking, you just made a move to Houston. How did that help you today?
Oh, it helped a ton. I mean, first of all, it's been so hot in Houston that this felt great. I was like, oh, it's cool out here, even though it probably felt like it was 100. But that's been big. And then just practicing out of the Bermuda rough and the Bermuda greens. I've never played on Bermuda greens and Bermuda rough, and I didn't travel much as a junior, and even in college, stayed mostly on the West Coast. But yeah, just that experience. Even in 2 months, I could see how much better I've gotten on Bermuda, and that seems to be kind of the majority grass that we play on tour. So it's very similar conditions to the Woodlands and Champions and those courses down there.
These are your first playoffs. I'm curious how it's changed your mentality, if at all, because it is a new experience.
Oh, it's great. I mean, I've been telling guys, like, there's nothing better than playoff sports. And to have a week off and kind of sit back and just be like, wow, I'm playing in the playoffs. This is like all I watched as a kid is playoff sports. So it just has a different feel to it. I think even seeing all the top guys out here is there's just a different feel to it. I don't even know if it's a tangible feel, but yeah, nothing beats playoff sports.
And Sahith there with our Rex Hoggard. Tony Finau, I mentioned his strong play. He's won in his last 2 starts, the 3M Open and, of course, the Rocket Mortgage Classic. This is his 10th consecutive round in the 60s on the PGA Tour with that 64, just 26 putts for Finau. That has been a deficiency in his game until as of late. Here's what Tony had to say, speaking with Rex once again.
Thank you very much, Tony. Opening with a 64. It seems like very familiar territory for you now, considering the run that you're on. You mentioned your ball striking was very good today. Is that the key on this golf course?
Yeah, no doubt. You have to hit it in the fairway. You know, the Bermuda grass, as we all know, if you hit it in the rough, you're not going to be able to score, even with the soft conditions. So I hit enough fairways today, which allowed me to hit the greens, and then I rolled a few in.
Talking about the run that you're on back-to-back weeks, you took a week off last week. Is it a matter of staying mentally fresh or physically fresh when you're on one of these types of runs?
Yeah, probably more mental, but I stayed sharp. You know, I wanted to make sure my game was, you know, I didn't lose a step after a couple of those wins. So even though I didn't play out here on tour, I played every day, played golf every day, played with my son. I just tried to stay as sharp as I could to make sure I didn't really lose any part of my game going into this week, and I stayed pretty sharp, and today I think I kind of showed that.
Confidence has never been in question when it comes to you. I think we've had this conversation numerous times, but after you do what you have done, did you kind of take any time to reflect last week on what you've learned?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot to learn, I think, even with wins. I took a little bit of time, but, you know, for me, the easiest thing to do when I'm home is just be with my family, hang out. I will say I probably took a little bit of time to kind of understand and grasp what had happened. But, you know, for me, I think that's more of a time for after the FedEx Cup playoffs. And I'm happy with this start. And, you know, we got 3 weeks in front of us. And for me, 3 rounds now to try and get another win this week.
Some big names lurking like Tony Finau, Sam Burns, who nearly won in Memphis last year, all trying to chase guys who don't have a ton of winning experience, like J.J. Spahn. Only 1 victory. Did come this year. He shoots a 62. How about that? Bogey-free 62. Here's what Spahn had to say after his round.
What do you have to say for yourself, JJ?
I'm hot. It's figuratively and literally, I guess.
It's hot out here.
What'd you do well today?
I think I putted really well, and I drove it really well. I guess I hit 15 out of 18 greens, so that's a pretty good combo. When you're hitting a lot of greens and putting well and hitting fairways, I mean, it's hard to complain about how I played today.
Last time you were here, I think you almost left the property after you finished in regulation, and then you obviously you were in a playoff. Is this just a continuation of last time, or you're playing just as well?
I don't really know, to be honest. I haven't played a lot of golf competitively the last few weeks, so really today just trying to kind of figure out what I had out there. Just trying to kind of ease my way into the week, ease my way into the round, and go from there.
What did you find? Like, if you were so curious about what you were going to have, what did you learn?
I think I was a little uncomfortable kind of starting the day, just, not hitting your different shots and stuff like I would out on the golf course. And so really just trying to ease my way into the round and kind of get in a groove, and I was able to do that. Hit a poor drive on one to make the turn, but kind of started to drive a little bit better there and have a few more chances.
There were several guys who started the day well outside the top 70. Top 70 after play on Sunday in the FedEx Cup standings advanced to the BMW Championship next week. They had good days, including Rickie Fowler, who just got into playoffs. He shoots a 65, and it's interesting about Rickie Fowler because he has parted ways with his longtime caddy and friend Joe Scarvin on the bag this week, a fill-in caddy, Ben Showman from Cobra Puma Golf, who represents Rickie. Here's what Rickie had to say about his round, considering the change of scenery in regards to player caddy.
Always interesting when somebody makes a caddy change in the first round out of the gate. They play really well. Any thoughts on that? Were you comfortable out there, that kind of thing?
Yeah, it felt great. It was more so, going into this week, not having Joe with me. Obviously an amazing partnership over the years, but it was going to be more about me, taking ownership and putting more of a workload on myself and more accountability. So I still had plenty of his voice and one-liners and stuff in my head. So he wasn't on the bag, but he was definitely present.
If someone were to ask a very simple question, what's lacking right now in your game? What would be the answer the last couple months?
I mean, it'd be nice to hit some a little closer, but that's not probably the biggest issue. One of the biggest issues over the last year or two, I'm just not putting anywhere near what I am used to or where I know I can. So. And that does a lot with, momentum and confidence and freeing you up from, on the rest of the game. Not feeling like you have to necessarily hit it super close to make birdies. I've been driving it really well. And so I think kind of last thing is, seeing a few putts go in, and that's, I think, something that's really going to free up the rest of the game to kind of start cruising again.
A lot of the world's best tours on Golf Channel Friday. The DP World Tour and the LPGA Tour playing jointly in Northern Ireland. Corn Ferry Tour, Golf Central pregame. Myself, Brad Chambly, Mark Roffing will get you started for the FedEx St. Jude Championship. That'll be live second round coverage. U.S. Women's Amateur taking place as well, and the PGA Tour champs at the Boeing Classic. I'm Todd Lewis. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on Friday.